Welcome to the show that teaches you the things your parents and teachers are too afraid to. The Helios blog. Today, Kevin Samuels knows these girls just don't get it. Here we go.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
What age do you think your husband would be?
12.
When you're pregnant and married with the first child, do you want to have to work to pay?
Oh, she's silent. Okay, let's move on.
Pretty much it. There's no in between. And you're 30. You're 30. How old?
36.
36. So, do you want to be married?
I do now, but it's not something that I prioritized when I was younger.
Of course not.
So I realized that I'm in the danger zone.
Oh, you're past
Well
the
and
danger
truly.
No,
zone.
you're past that.
No, you're past the danger zone. You're in no man's land.
Yes, about ready to be put on the what did you say, like the second-hand rack or something like that?
You are officially on clearance.
Yes.
You're
But
36.
still not
so
willing to
you're-
accept it because I do have offers, but it's from people that I'm not attracted to,
Well, that's the
Even
even
problem
though they
now,
can
ain't-
provide a nice
that's,
life.
That's the problem now, isn't it? You're on clearance, and when people want to buy stuff on clearance, but it's never the premium buyers now, is it?
That's right.
You don't. People who have the money to buy on season items that are hot enough to sell on season get sold. And when you're on clearance, you didn't sell on season because you said it. You didn't prepare. You didn't prioritize marriage younger. Okay, that's fine, cool. But my question is, we know what you didn't do. I need before
What are
we
you
get to the
doing
next
now
part. I need to
to
know
secure a
why
man?
you want to be married now. That's important.
I've had my fun. I'm ready to settle down, of course.
Like I definitely don't want to grow old alone.
I know
Okay.
my worth.
It would be
Classic.
nice to have a companion,
Partner.
sometimes to travel, or even just someone to come home to,
Yep.
to talk to. Uh,
She's the one coming home to him. Noted.
I would imagine that one of the priorities of being in a marriage is to support each other through, I guess you can expect more difficult times from a certain age in life where you may have to attend funerals for people that you care about.
Yourself.
If you end up in hospital or something like that, then it's really important to have someone to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't expect someone that you've only known for a short time to be that person. You really have to have invested in someone long term
Indeed.
for them to be the kind of person who would be there for you in the important parts of life.
Yeah, so all she cares about is the benefit towards herself. That's the moral of this story. Me, 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 me.
So
The highs and the lows.
So what I'm kind of hearing, if I'm correct, is I'm hearing that you want
Useful
you
idiot to
want
take care of you.
a companion.
Yes.
Okay. Well, a companion is not necessarily a husband. That's different. You can have so my question still is the same, because nothing in what you described is you being
A wife.
a wife to a man. You described what you want from a marriage, which is a companion. But I could give you, but why do you need to have a husband? Because the husband is somebody who's supposed to protect, provide. You're also supposed to have a sex life and all that.
No. Definitely
You
not.
can have a companion that's not a husband.
Protection and provision and sex is also something that I want.
Yeah.
But,
Do you want children?
I'm aware of where I am in the timeline, so I'm pretty realistic about.
But do you want them is the question.
Of course you want them.
I have never met someone who made me feel like wanting them was something that I should do.
Okay.
I had one person that, but then I changed my mind. And
Did you go
aside
to
from that,
college?
Lovely.
Did you go to college?
yes,
You have a graduate degree or higher?
a master's degree.
I'm a PhD.
Um,
Classic.
where in the biology of the female mammal in particular, does a man's ability to provide or whatever instinctively arouse a woman's desire to have children?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Is the desire to have children a natural thing, or is it something that's stimulated by the male?
That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that.
When you had a cycle, you were, in these terms, a teenager. So you had the ability to conceivably get pregnant and carry life. All right. So the conditions you put on pregnancy and child rearing have nothing to do with the biology of it.
I understand that.
So to say that I haven't met a man that makes me want to have kids
is ridiculous.
That ain't about a man. That's about you. So, and understand one of the major reasons men choose to get married, especially in the West, with the with the way things are going, a big part of that is kids.
Yep.
And I'm not hearing a woman who's really a wife. I'm hearing a woman that wants a partner.
That's understandable.
Is that what you want? You want a partner? Because I said that earlier on, that modern women aren't prepared to be wives, and they're not preparing to be wives. And as such, women have a choice to make. So you're like the perfect person for me to say this to. What do you want, ma'am? Do you want a partner, a life partner, a partner? Or do you want a husband and to be a wife? Those are two distinctly different things.
Yep.
What do you want?
Could you please clarify the difference? Because based on my life experience, I'm not sure I really understand.
Well,
wife and partner are two different things.
Like in the United States, there's the president and then the vice president. The vice president is the president of the Senate. The vice president has no power unless the president dies. The wife's roles typically are the nurturing and rearing of the children, the transmitters of the culture, the support of her husband, the familial bonds, the community, things like that. It's the typical female role. The male's role is typically provision, protection. Now, even today, while most people, we don't live in most places, it takes more than one income. So that doesn't mean the man has to pay all the bills. And especially at 36, you've been working your entire life anyway. I said it, if you're over 35, the chances of just getting married and becoming a housewife is like zero. Are negligible. You're going to work. But one has a hierarchical organizational structure. The other one is just people almost like they just come together like roommates. You split the bills, you split things halfway, you share the bed together. I mean, that's that whole partner thing.
It's not what most girls want.
On the one hand, I can appreciate splitting the bills, and on the other hand, I'm not aroused by that.
Well,
too bad.
You want a man to pay the bills?
I don't think I would. I enjoy the work that I do.
Now understand.
How can I dodge the question as well as possible to protect my reputation?
So I'm not making a value judgment in any way, but the most important thing is to be honest. Because if you need to be honest with yourself.
She's going to do that.
Like I said, I'm not judging either way, but I can't really give you my input if you're going to tell me something that just kind of sounds good. Do you want to have to, if you're with a man, do you want to have to go 50-50?
If I had children, definitely not. Okay. No, I would. But if we didn't have children, then I would. And I guess perhaps that disqualifies me from even being considered as a wife. not having children, then
It changes the
then
calculus. Yes, it does.
I would
Definitely changes the calculus.
contribute, but perhaps not in a 50-50 way. I guess it depends on what their role is, and I am used to being around generous men, and I find that attractive.
Translation.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Of course you do, but men had to become generous to get women to even do what they used to do. Y'all aren't doing y'all's part anymore. So what I just heard you say is, if we had children, a thing that I'm not naturally inclined to want to do, that's what you kind of said. So it's not like you're saying, ooh, I want to have babies. It's like, oh, well, I have some kids if I find the right guy. But if I do that, then I want to be taken care of. I want you to put yourself in the men's position. Why would a guy be excited to take that on? A woman who doesn't want to have kids, but if she does take kids, then you got to pay for everything. And she's in geriatric pregnancy already.
Indeed.
Yeah, I could understand why people would rather choose someone who's younger and really wants to be a mother. I think it would be more suitable for someone who hasn't prioritized education and career.
Do you think you're offering a fair deal?
She's so like brainwashed that she thinks that she actually has a chance because guys still want to sleep with her. Well, guys will want to sleep with you till you're 60. That's not what determines if you're actually attractive or not. They'll never wife you. They'll never actually be in a relationship with you. You're already done and you don't even know it.
Well, it depends on the deal, but from what we've just discussed,
you used to rich men or generous men or whatever. Are you giving
those men a good deal,
feminine value as he's giving masculine provision?
Not even close.
in theory.
Indeed.
Well, I guess it's more than just children. I actually do like cooking, taking care of like cleaning and things like that. I like that kind of gender role. But I guess I've just never felt, or perhaps I have felt the urge at times to have a baby, but I've suppressed it. I'm a logical person, and I was also a school teacher for 10 years. So I have perhaps more experience with children than the average person. I'm very aware of the amount of investment it takes to do that job well.
Most teachers won't have families in this country. See,
will have
when
families.
I ask you, are you offering a fair deal? You didn't. The answer was no. That's why you had to go in theory. You know you're not. What you would like to have versus what you're offering. What you would like to have is a man who's able to provide. That puts him in the top percentile of men. From an economic standpoint, right? All right. What are you in the top percentile of women?
Nope.
No.
From a demand standpoint. What men are what's in high demand by men?
Oh, do you mean like which number I would be on the scale? Or?
Well, what's in high demand by men are women who have a mindset that's agreeable, cooperative, and she's smart. A woman that's fit internally and externally. She's dedicated, disciplined, discerning. She's feminine, which is she's accommodating. She's comforting, and she has a subtle sophistication, and she's naturally nurturing, which means she has a carefree, loving, light, easy side. Those last two, I'm not getting anything from you on that. I'm getting flatline on feminine and naturally nurturing. So
Not
automatically, I would tell you automatically that would put any woman in a character in a out of high demand contention. But
because I'm not nurturing or feminine.
Yeah, because you're not a wife, you're not a mother. I mean, you're logical and you're talking about having children, almost like a Vulcan, which is cool. But men, you're almost talking about having kids like a woman or a Vulcan, which is cool. But a lot of men don't like that. A lot of men don't like that. A lot of men want women who, look, if you're talking about a man you said you like generous men, right? Generous men are in short supply. women are 51% of the population. All women come with a vagina, all the standard equipment. So what are you really offering as a woman, as any woman has to say, what am I offering to the men that are rare, the kind of men that I want?
Yep.
And with you, I'm hearing that I'm a logical person, I'm a school teacher, but it's like, okay, what I'm gathering is you probably want a man that's outside of your SMV.
Indeed.
How tall are you?
170 centimeters.
We're over here in the United States. Put that in feet.
I have to use my conversion.
How much do you weigh? I mean, what's your dress size? How about?
Actually, if you don't mind, I can go and get the details from my purse. Just a.
Well, no, or this is just about how much do you weigh? That's about all we need.
I think I'm a size 8,
Okay.
an American sizing.
All right. So, ma'am, at a
70 kgs.
At a 36-year-old woman who's a school teacher, right?
I'm not a school teacher anymore. I was for 10 years.
Okay.
So what are you now?
What level?
I
Elementary?
reached highly accomplished status in Australia.
What level did you teach at though?
Oh, sorry, primary school. 6 and 7 year olds were my favorite age.
6 and 7.
But she's not naturally nurturing.
Man. 36-year-old second grade teachers aren't in high demand. They're simply not. This is almost like you sound like you want a partner, which is fine, because you don't sound like you're really motivated to have kids. Sounds to me like you would like to have a man who's financially fit or well off, and you would just be partners and be like a travel companion. Almost what I would call like an executive wife. But here's the problem. Many women want that, and they got the feminine thing going on. You almost are coming across like a man. Masculine. Have you heard that before?
I've felt that. Yes, and I guess I think you've said in a previous video that can't really be changed.
She sounds a little bit autistic, maybe. Extremely logical.
It's how you're raised, and so.
Well, not at this age.
Am I right?
Not at this age. I mean, at 36, you're pretty much, this is it. Because even if your OBGYN says you or get a medical clearance to have kids, you don't really have the desire to. The desire to have kids would come extra you, which is one of the major reasons men get married. So why would a man choose a woman like yourself? That means the only reason I would say if I would choose a woman like yourself, if I want to have kids, you must have exceptional genes, meaning your people must come from almost like we're breeding pedigrees. But I mean, at the end of the day, no offense, second grade teacher. You may be an exceptional second grade teacher, but second grade. So then you have to look at, well, are you getting exceptional genetics? Maybe above average. All right. Then what about looks? You have to be a freaking knockout to overcome all these other things. So could you be with an average man?
No.
A plumber.
Are you talking about average in looks or income or both?
Income. Because we're not supposed to be the lookers. We're supposed to be the earners. An average earning New Zealand man. Whatever they do in New Zealand, they played in the Lord of the Rings or some shit. I don't know. Whatever they do over in New Zealand, they do that shit. They're elves and extras and Aquaman, whatever.
We do have a lot of
agriculture
tradesmen in this country.
Yeah, could you marry one of those guys?
No. Has to have a yacht.
I mean, I possibly could, but I don't typically find that attractive.
Possibly
well, then,
could.
Here's what you got.
Too picky, too masculine.
I don't care what you find attractive, ma'am. You're a 36-year-old second grade teacher with exceptionally high standards.
Indeed.
And you're only getting older. If you don't marry this man who's a provider and attractive, are you going to have enough money to last you from 65 to 85 when you retire?
At this stage, definitely not.
Let's say, how much money do you think you'll need to last for 20 years? 20 elder years.
Goodness me.
She's a
I
disaster.
mean, I know you've talked about this a lot, but I haven't
This
calculated
ballpark.
it.
This ballpark.
I would just rather be dead, to be fair.
How much?
I would rather be dead than be old and living on a shoestring.
Well,
that's what's going to
I do
happen.
that too, but what do you think if
Because
you don't?
your standards are too
What do you
high.
think?
For 20 years.
$1 million.
Well, you'd need at least 50,000 a year, so at least $1 million.
In this country, you need 1.9 million, so you're still $1 million off. And see, what I need you to understand is, you said I would rather be dead than living on a shoestring budget.
Probably will.
But unfortunately, this is the dilemma for modern women, because you guys don't know how to do relationship. And even in no man's land, you're still prioritizing foolish things like attractiveness and a man's provision ability. And you don't want to deliver anybody's children unless they are paying for you. It's insane to us as men. This is nowhere, you're not even close to offering a fair deal. And if you don't, you won't marry. And if you did marry, it doesn't sound like you'd stay. And if you did stay, you didn't sound like you would be the hell of that great to be married to.
Indeed.
So it would be a crazy man who would do this because you might be a resentful woman. So it's like you're choosing to go the hardest way possible, a single solitary female, and you know you're not making that kind of money. This is what modern womanism and feminism has gotten you guys. Because you have a master's. And do you have any debt from college?
Of course, yes.
Not from the master's degree. I was fortunate with that, but I do still have debt from my first degree, but nothing compared to American debt.
Okay.
Small amount.
Yeah. Well, but the point is, when
8,000.
women are men and women are allowed to choose. Men sort ourselves into science, technology, engineering, math. We choose to pick careers and paths that pay more money. Women choose to take careers that they like. But you have the kind of debt. The schooling costs the same. Engineering classes cost as much as humanities do. But you chose a career path that was capped. So now you got a life choice to make. And what's happening is the value of a woman drops and the clock is starting to make decisions. You're going to be against a rock and a hard place in the next 4 years.
Indeed.
So this is why I tell ladies like yourself to really start considering what you're willing to X off your list. Attractiveness. He just needs to be attractive enough for what?
Well, I have been thinking about it because I do listen to a lot of your videos, and I feel like a big part of a long-term relationship for a man to be satisfied is that you feel drawn to him enough that you want to have sex with him at least a few times a week and the other things. And so if there's not enough of a draw there,
then do your duty. Then
that's what happens when you are alpha widowed, multi-alpha widowed. That's what happens. You can't even be attracted to a normal guy. Can't even pretend to be attracted to a normal guy.
Then close your eyes, shut your mouth, and bend over. That's what you do. Because you don't have the kind of... Because, ma'am, we're not supposed to be the attractive ones. That's your job. He needs to be attractive enough that you can look and have sex with him. If not, turn out the light. Go back in your family album. Go back and look at your family tree and show me how many movie star first leading men the women in your family married.
0.
They didn't.
I don't mean movie star level attractive.
I'm being facetious because it's to the point to where modern women, you want everything, and then even when you tone it down, it's still
Too
far
much.
too much.
Way too much.
Nobody expects you to get with a troll. But come on, man. Because how this ends, we've already know how that ends. If you don't get somebody to share the burdens of life with, you want to live with a woman?
With a woman?
Yes, women are starting to live together. Elderly women are starting to live together and split bills because they didn't get men. There's a show called The Golden Girls. Do you want to do that?
Depends on the woman.
Oh my lord.
It wasn't what I had in mind.
No. And the answer is no, because women know living with other women is a freaking problem. So you don't want to live.
Yup, but we gotta do it. Anyway, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications, drop me a donation. Like Hunter M, Adrian R, Tom and Bobby, Dylan, Response Press, Brian, Andrew, and Alan. Shout outs to you. Most recent purchase of Strategist Guide to Seduction. Thank you. Go buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Want to see my videos ahead of time? I offer early access on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. And if you want me to give you better advice than this girl ever could, great. Just message me at my email. That's theheliosblog@gmail.com. I offer coaching services. Thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you listen to the end. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.